There's a big shakeup happening at Team Chevy, and Bill Elliott is coming back out of retirement to race once again. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric, and welcome to Out of the Groove. Taking a deep breath, honestly, after yesterday. Yesterday, if you missed it, I posted my entire reaction to the brand new 2021 NASCAR schedule. NASCAR dropped a bomb on us yesterday. 7 road course races next year, a Bristol dirt race. And I didn't really talk about this much in yesterday's video, but the majority of the races next season will once again be one-day shows. A lot of the new tracks, like the Bristol dirt race, Road America, the Indianapolis road course, Circuit of the Americas, they're gonna have some sort of practice and qualifying before the race, but still, a lot of one-day shows next year, so it's still going to kind of be a wild card season, I think. Anyway, but we're taking a step back from all of that crazy news. If you missed it, check out my video from yesterday. It was a big one. But anyway, we are going to take a step back from all that here today. If you missed my video yesterday, go check it out. Very exciting moment for NASCAR fans. The big focus in today's episode is going to be Chevrolet, because Hendrick Motorsports is making some changes they announced yesterday that kind of got lost in all the shuffle. And today, both Hendrick and RCR made a joint announcement. So we're going to talk about all that at the end of this episode. But first, we have a couple other just random things to hit on. First off, it is October 1st, and if you remember a couple weeks back, Matt DiBenedetto said that September 30th was the deadline for the Wood brothers to decide whether or not to pick up his option for the 2021 season. It's now October 1st. Unless something comes out later today, there is so far no word on Matt DiBenedetto's future. That leads me to believe that he will not be with the Wood brothers next year, but I guess we'll wait until something official is confirmed. Big time silly season stuff. Now, not really silly season related, but still driver related. Bill Elliott is once again coming out of retirement. It was announced today that the NASCAR Hall of Famer will be racing in Tony Stewart and Ray Everham's Superstar Racing Experience next summer. If you'll remember, this is the short track series that Stewart and Everham are working on. Bill Elliott, at 64 years old, a 44-time Cup Series winner, obviously a fan favorite, a NASCAR Hall of Famer, and a NASCAR Cup Series champion. He joins a pretty stacked list of confirmed drivers. Tony Stewart, Tony Kanaan, Paul Tracy, Helio Castroneves, Bobby Labonte, Willie T. Ribbs, and Mark Webber, I believe, are the only confirmed drivers so far, but Bill Elliott adds his name to that list of champions. CBS is still set to broadcast this new series next summer, but so far no other details have been given. We still don't know exactly what the race cars are going to look like, even though Ray Everham has shared some teasers over the past several months, but very exciting to add another high-profile NASCAR champion to that driver lineup. Bill Elliott last raced in NASCAR in 2018. Remember, he came out of retirement for that little one-off Xfinity race at Road America. He actually ended up finishing 20th, so really excited to see what Bill Elliott can do on the short track scene once again with Tony Stewart and everyone running that series. Another reason to watch the Superstar Racing Experience next year. I hope this series gets off the ground well and it's really fun to watch, because I think they have all the makings of something special right now. Anyway, I just wanted to touch on those stories really quick before we get to talking about Chevrolet. Like I said, lost in the shuffle yesterday with all the schedule announcements. Chad Knaus confirmed that he will be stepping down from the pit box at the end of the 2020 season. Hendrick Motorsports announced that Chad Knaus will be actually getting a promotion into the VP of Competition role at Hendrick Motorsports. He'll now be tasked with overseeing really the entire Hendrick Motorsports operation, especially as the team makes the transition into the next-gen car in 2022. Hendrick Motorsports also announced that Jeff Andrews, who currently holds that position, will also be getting an internal promotion as well. But for the 7-time champion crew chief, an 82-time winner in the NASCAR Cup Series, 81 of those with Jimmy Johnson and one just a few weeks ago with William Byron, that Chad Knaus will likely crew chief his final race here in just a few weeks at Phoenix in November.
It was a tough decision to try to figure out what I wanted to do, but it's the right decision for everybody and all parties involved. Sitting on top of the pit box as long as I have, I've been traveling full time since I was about 16 years old, right? So it's time to kind of pull back just a little bit and not be on the road every single week and spend some time with my family.
It's the end of an era. There's really no other way to look at it. Chad Knaus is easily one of the all-time greats to ever sit atop the pit box on a regular basis. His long-lasting relationship with Jimmy Johnson, of course, the two of them were two of the best to ever do it, and combined they dominated an entire era of NASCAR Cup racing. 7 championships across 3 generations of race cars, across multiple different playoff formats. It's ridiculous. He's accomplished so much as a crew chief, so he certainly deserves this promotion, and it's kind of, I guess, the logical next step. Did anyone doubt that Chad Knaus was going to get an even greater leadership role at Hendrick Motorsports at some point? I mean, the dude is a walking legend around the garage area, so well-deserved for Chad Knaus. Chad Knaus is 49 years old, I believe, and earlier this summer, he and his wife actually had their second child. So I guess it's understandable why Chad Knaus at this point in his life would want to get off the road so frequently, not want to travel 38 races, 38 weeks out of the year, getting the chance to work closer to home on a regular basis and still have plenty of input and plenty of say as to how Hendrick Motorsports operates, and still very much a competitive role. I think this is great for Chad Knaus, so I'm really happy for him. He, like I said, very well deserved. But it certainly is a bittersweet moment, I'm sure, for many Jimmy Johnson fans, even some William Byron fans who recently signed an extension with Hendrick Motorsports. He'll be looking for a new crew chief next year. Hendrick Motorsports did not comment on who the new crew chief may be at this time. They haven't made that decision yet. And actually looking further into the future, there's a possibility that Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus could get inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in the same year. With the way the Hall of Fame voting works, two come in off the modern ballot, we could very well see Jimmy and Chad be inducted at the very same time in, 23 or 24, whatever they become eligible. And I don't really know how eligibility works, really. I know typically it's 3 years after you retire, but I don't know if that's different for crew chiefs versus drivers. And if Jimmy Johnson comes back and races a few races part-time next year or the year after, is that going to affect his eligibility? I don't really know how it's going to work, but there's a very real possibility Jimmy and Chad will be voted into the Hall of Fame the very same year. They'll go in at the very same time. Be kind of cool for a lot of longtime 48 fans, I'm sure. Obviously, Chad Knaus is a Hall of Famer. I think the moment he becomes eligible, he should be in the Hall of Fame without question. But I guess it's important to note that while Chad Knaus won't be on top of the pit box making the in-the-moment decisions every single week, he's still very much going to be a part of Hendrick Motorsports' team going forward. He's still going to have a lot of control over their day-to-day and is going to be extremely important in helping the team transition over to the next-gen race car in 2022. So best of luck to Chad Knaus and Team Hendrick. That wasn't the only major headline that Hendrick Motorsports made this week. This morning, Hendrick Motorsports and Richard Childress Racing, fellow Chevrolet Cup Series team, released this statement together. Following the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series season, Hendrick Motorsports and Richard Childress Racing will formalize a joint venture focused on engine R&D and the establishment of a common Chevrolet engine specification. While our two championship-winning organizations will collaborate on research and development, our respective engine shop operations will continue to function independently as they currently do. We look forward to working together to fully leverage the knowledge and intellectual property of our two successful programs to advance Chevrolet's engine for NASCAR. So again, a bit of a shakeup on the Chevrolet side of things. But yes, indeed, Hendrick Motorsports and Richard Childress Racing, who right now both develop their own Chevrolet engines for their teams to use, are now going to work together, I guess the rest of this year, or at the very least next year and beyond, to come up with a more singular Chevrolet engine that includes the best that Hendrick has to offer, the best that RCR has to offer, and I guess hopefully will allow all of the Chevy teams to get a bit of an upgrade. Chevrolet right now is the only manufacturer in the NASCAR Cup Series that has multiple teams making different engines for their cars. All of the Ford engines, I believe, that means Stewart-Haas Racing, Roush Fenway Racing, Team Penske, all get their engines from Roush Yates. And Toyota, obviously that's really just Joe Gibbs Racing and I guess Gaunt Brothers and Levine this year, they get all their engines from Toyota Racing Development. But Chevrolets continue to have a couple different people make engines. Some teams use the RCR engines, some teams use the Hendrick engines. It varies. As we've seen the last few years, Chevrolet has really lost control of the NASCAR Cup Series for, as I said earlier, when Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus were dominating a Chevy. Chevrolet dominated the NASCAR Cup Series for decades almost. But really since 2018, when they introduced the Camaro ZL1 body to the Cup Series, Chevys have consistently lagged behind their Toyota and Ford counterparts more often than not. The last three Cup champions were Truex in a Toyota, Logano in a Ford, and Kyle Busch last year in a Toyota. And if you look this year, Harvick in a Ford and Hamlin in a Toyota are the two championship favorites once again. So Chevrolet, outside of really Chase Elliott and maybe Kurt Busch and Kyle Larson when he was in the 42 car and maybe Alex Bowman the last year and a half or so, besides those four, Chevrolet has not consistently been able to put winning race cars on the racetrack. I know they've had some surprises this year, like with Austin Dillon winning at Texas, but outside of Chase Elliott, who's been able to win 8 times in the last 2.5 years, no other Chevy driver has come close to matching that number. I mean, I think Kurt Busch has 2 wins in a Chevy, Alex Bowman's got 2 wins in a Chevy, Jimmy's got 0. Point is, Chevrolet's performance has clearly dropped off a cliff, more or less, since about the start of 2018. Did the engines have something to do with that? Maybe, maybe not, but now it sounds like Chevy has finally said, hey guys, this isn't acceptable. We need to put all of our resources towards at least creating a common engine that has the best we can possibly put on the racetrack each and every week. They probably look at Ford and Toyota. They have one big supplier supplying all the the teams with their engines, and all the R&D goes into that one same engine. Chevy's probably thinking, hey, it doesn't make sense anymore for us to continue to have competing engines within the Chevy banner. Like, let's just put all of our best stuff into one type of engine. You guys can still build your own engines, because that's what it said in that statement. Hendrick's still going to build their own, ECR's still going to build their own, but now it sounds like they're going to share a lot more notes, they're going to share a lot more research and findings and things like that, so hopefully their engines are a lot similar now. I don't know how big of an impact that will actually have, though. Now, another reason I think they're making this announcement right now is the next gen car is set to debut in 2022, so all through the 2021 calendar year, Ford, Toyota, and Chevy are going to be developing their next gen program, and we already know the next gen car is by and large going to be a spec car. Ford, Toyota, Chevy are all going to be getting the same chassis from the same place. So that is a major aspect of the car that is more or less going to be identical between all the teams. So where does Chevy set itself apart from Ford? Where does Ford set itself apart from Toyota? I think the engine department is going to become way more important than it even is now, because engines, of course, are an extremely important part of the car as well. And in 2022, the engine may be the biggest thing that sets you apart from your competition. If everyone's running pretty much the same car, the amount of horsepower you're able to turn under the hood might make all the difference. So I think it makes sense now for Chevy to consolidate all their research into one refined engine package, and hopefully that helps their program at least beyond 2022. That's my theory, at least, but I guess it remains to be seen what kind of difference this actually makes from a competition standpoint. But pretty big news. A lot of shakeups going on at Chevrolet teams right now. But hey, we're in the middle of that transition to the next gen of NASCAR. It's all about being prepared for the future at this point. So hopefully it works out for Chevrolet, because I want to see Hendrick be competitive. I want to see Ganassi and RCR be competitive. There's a lot of great drivers over there that I want to see contending for wins and championships down the road, and last couple of years, they just haven't had the speed of the Toyotas and Fords. It's been clear. Anyway, that's all I've got to talk about in today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, of course. And as always, a great thank you to my fantastic Patreon supporters. If you also want to support the show, check out that top link down in the description. I greatly appreciate it. I should have another video up tomorrow and possibly another one this weekend before Talladega. It's, of course, a big weekend, big wild card race at Talladega, so I'm gonna have a lot to talk about Sunday night, I'm sure. Thank you all for watching this video. I will see you again very, very soon.